Maracana. I grew up in AJEGUNLE. I was at Maracana Stadium some time ago.
That's where I started. That's where I started my football from.
So, you know, I learned even Igalo, Amunike, a couple of guys played for the Super Eagles. What's this pride like? And you've seen even on these charts now, some guys are like, "Oh, AJEGUNLE boys, no they." How does this feel from AJEGUNLE to where you are right now?
So they always use this slogan from AJEGUNLE to the world. You know, for me, it's been an amazing ride all through. You know, from back home, AJEGUNLE, Nigeria, up to where I am today. You know, I never forget where I'm from, which can never go out of my heart. You know, I always try to give back as much as I can, which is not possible to, you know, to please everyone. But AJEGUNLE is a place that you know, full of a lot of talent. You know, but the problem we have is the person to fish out those talented ones, because we have a lot of players, you know, there, but we just lack the right person, to come and say, okay, you are good, and see them through, lead them and guide them to the end. It's really tough.
Okay. Brown, you for me, I would say you're a prolific striker because you've scored a lot of goals. At clubs you went to, you scored goals. But there was this challenge when you went to West Brom. You went there as the club record signing as at that time, but you did not score as many goals as you would have wanted to score. And I think you spent just the season there. Can you tell us, was there a problem at West Brom? Was there a problem that disturbed your progress over there?
For me, I think at that point, I think it's just not having a good preseason with the team, because I signed, went back to Nigeria to get my working visa ready. You know, it took me like, I think, 3 weeks. Meanwhile, the team already left America, finished their preseason, came back to England, and it's just about not having a good, you know, preseason. I had all my preseason in Nigeria while waiting for my visa. I traveled back to, you know, to UK to join the team, not knowing what I'm supposed to do to get myself at that peak to, you know, to compete with the, you know, with the bigger boys of, you know, in the league. But for me, I felt like it's not meant to be. You know, I felt like it's not meant to be because I was the record signer on a lot of expectation from me and everything. But I just felt like it's not meant to be, because I did everything that I can. You know, even when after getting my fitness back, came, you know, started playing, got injured, went out again for another 3 weeks, came back, played like 3-4 games, got injured again, you know. So I just felt like it was not really meant to be.
So if I may ask, do you feel you have unfinished business in the Premier League? Like, would you want to return back to that league?
Why not? Why not? If I have the offer, and if it's good for me, for sure, I would like to, you know, to do a season or two there. You know, a dream of every player, every footballer is to play at the top level, which is the EPL. And part, you know, it's one of my, you know, stamp in my CV. But I felt like I didn't really give that much. You know, they didn't really see the best of Ideye Brown because of not having a good preseason, injuries and everything. But for me, I felt like I still have a lot to offer.
Okay. Let's talk about your time in China also. We also know that at some point you, I think you were relegated to the Team B in TIANJIN TEDA. What was the issue? What was the issue in the club? Because at some point you had to leave because you were not playing. So what was the issue over there in China also?
The issue is that there's this rule in China that every 6 months or every 1 year they have to reshuffle the team. And at that point, I got to China. It was really difficult for me. The language, the players, you know, not having good good food and everything. I felt like it took me time to really adapt to the Chinese league with all the expectation from the club and the fans. And they felt like, okay, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I can't not meet up to what they expect, their expectation. And they end up bringing in a new player in my position and asked me to go on loan. It's quite simple.
Okay, so let's come to the Super Eagles now. 2013, you were part of those that won the AFCON. How does this feel, being an AFCON winner?
It's amazing. It's something that you can describe. You have to be a part of it for you to know how important it is. For me, that moment is one of the big moments for me in my career, which I'll never forget. A dream for every player is to win something with your country and your club. So me achieving that, for me, I think is one of the big things in my career that I have to hold very strong and be grateful for.
Yes, I also remember in that tournament, the first goal Nigeria scored, Emenike, you gave one flick, one super pass like that, and also I remember then in the semi-final you got a goal against Mali. Now, what I'm trying to say is, millions of Nigerians are watching. And how does this personally feel in you that I'm doing this to make millions of people happy back home?
For me, I just felt like if you didn't try something, you won't know if it's good or if it's bad. At that tournament, I went there, free my heart, try to impress, because we know the target, which is to win the trophy. And at that point, I was really looking to lead my team, and I need to prove to the world that I'm good enough to play in any level when it comes to football. And I gave everything that I have in me, which is to support the team, give the team all the necessary support that they need. And I felt like it get to a point that I start doubting myself when it comes to scoring the goals. But my role in that tournament is either I score or I assist. But if the goal is not coming, I have to assist my my partner. So I guess it just ended that way. Me scoring just one and did a lot of assists.
Yeah. Okay, Brown, let's talk about this now. From 2013, winning the AFCON, and next thing, 2014, you were not in the World Cup squad. There were reports that you perhaps were struggling with injury, or you picked up an injury. That was why you were dropped. But what is the true story behind your 2014 World Cup snub? Like, why didn't you make the team for the World Cup in 2014?
I've said that I will not really go into that when it comes to talking about this 2014 absent for the World Cup. I've said that, I've told myself that I will not talk about it, and I will not go into details when it comes to it. To this point, okay, I would say I know a little bit of it, but I just feel like there's no point talking more on it. So maybe we'll just skip it to the next question.
Okay, all right, that's fine. But let's also talk about something that has been raised. Players are beginning to come out to say that they were told to pay bribe just to make the World Cup team. Like, some players have come out to make such a claim. For you, did you at any point experience something like that?
I've never experienced, no one have ever asked me for bribe, to include me in the team. No one have ever, call me or email me or, talk face to face with me concerning that. Every player have their own, conversation with coaches when it comes to, or coaches, or I don't know who they had a conversation with. But for me, I've never experienced anything like that.
Okay. Now let's come to the present Super Eagles and General and all that. Now, we know you were part of the team that played some parts of the qualifiers of the last World Cup, but somehow you went back to your club. Now that Roy is about signing another contract, and of course there are chances that, because you play
week in, week out now, and most of the players in the present Super Eagles are those that are in form. If you get another opportunity to come back or another invitation to the Super Eagles, will you want to be part of the team?
Why not? I'm still playing. I've not retired from football, from the national team. If I got an email or an invitation from them, I will sure honor it, because it's my country. It's my fatherland. I'll never turn my back, on them up till when I retired from, international football. Then it's fine.
Okay. All right. Brown, there was this period in time in your career that you were without a club for a long period of time. How was
1 year?
How for you? And did you at any point consider quitting football? Like, how was it for you?
It was tough. It was really, really tough. I won't lie to you. It was tough, but I know myself. I know the type of person I am. I know the type of player that I am. So I didn't give up. I didn't even tell myself that this is the end. I'm young. I'm fit. So I just believe that I should keep on working hard and push the rest to my agent, and hopefully I'm gonna get something good. And that was what exactly happened.
At that 2010 World Cup, Nigeria did not progress past the group stage. And I remember in 2 of our games, I think the game against Greece, yes, I think Sani Keita received a red card. Yeah. Then in South Korea, where we needed to win, Yakubu Aiyegbeni missed a glorious chance. So after that tournament, some players were receiving death threats. Apparently, some players were getting insulted, even to the extent that their families were insulted. For you, how were you feeling at that period? And for you, have you ever in your career received death threats just because you represented your nation?
Never. I've never been in that type of situation. It's sad that we lost. We went out the way. We left the World Cup. But for me, I think in football, there's always a stage when it comes to winning games. There's a stage that there's some games that you have to lose. There's some games that you have to win. There's some games that you have to draw. Even if you are more better than the opponent, sometimes you don't intend, you end up losing. That's how football is. And at that point, I felt like we are better than them, but they have the luck more than us that day, because we did everything. On a very good day, there's no way that a player can miss an open goal from 2 meters, but it happens. It happens in football. And if you understand quite all right how football is, it hurts. It hurts when you feel like, oh, if it's me, I will even score it. We have our normal Nigerian way of thinking about things, like, oh, if it's me, I will score it with my back. I will score it with my, with this, with that. But when you are there, you're not really thinking right. The pressure, I know how many chances we lost that day, and I know how difficult it is to play. The weather was terrible. It was really hot. And I felt like we did everything, but, we end up not winning. And, we should just take it the way we see it and just move on. Instead of threatening the families and trying to make a mess.
Okay, what was your reaction and the reaction after the game in the dressing room to Yakubu's miss? Because back here in Nigeria, people couldn't believe it. Like, people were surprised. So what was your reaction? What was being said in the dressing room after that game?
At first, I thought the ball came out the net, though, because we had the bench. So when we I think when what was his name? Ayila passed the ball, and we saw that he was there alone and there is no goal. We stood up and we almost on the edge of the line, waiting to run in. So when the ball passed in front of the goal, we thought that it went in and out. You understand? So we ran in at first. So when you saw that the referee pointed goal kick, we are already in the pitch. Everybody was shocked. Like, how is it possible, to not to score this? We felt really sad. But at that point, I was not really thinking about after the game. I was not really thinking about the game. I was thinking about, because we had a lot of promises from pledge from a lot of people back home, and the president of NFL. The president was like, if you win this game, we do this, we do that. So that was what I was just focusing on, like, I know how much I'm gonna go home with and everything. So I was praying that we win, because for me, okay, I'm not playing, but everything that they are getting, I'm getting it too. So I better wish them good and go home smiling, instead of being sad that I'm not playing and think there's nothing coming to me. So I felt really bad, but I was just thinking on, the pledge, like, we would have, won this game and just move on to the next stage, the next round, and everyone will be happy.
Let me quickly ask this. At that 2013 AFCON, people did not give Nigeria any chance of winning it. Most people wrote us off. And coupled with the fact that we also somehow struggled to get into the knockout stage, because I know that we had to win our last game in the group stage to qualify. Yes, against Ethiopia.
Yeah, against Ethiopia, yeah.
For you guys that were at that tournament, was there at any point you guys started doubting yourselves that maybe this is not our tournament?
We didn't really had that in mind, though. There's no time we felt like, maybe we have to start going home. We are not good enough. We knew that we're going to qualify from the group, but we had a slow start. Let me put it that way. We had a slow start, and it happens in football. It takes time for teams for players to blend together, and when it happens, you see the result, and that was what really happened at the AFCON. It took us time to really blend, and it took the coaches time to really know who fit in with position, and who will be right for what position. So when he got that right, it was the game against Ethiopia. I think we won, and from there we're supposed to meet Ivory Coast, and a lot of people felt like this is the end of the road. Well, I don't blame them, because the way we qualified, meeting Ivory Coast, they felt like, okay, they have to go home, this is it. But for us in the camp, we didn't really feel that way. A lot of people are, written us off, started writing things on Twitter, on IG, people have their option. People have things to say when it comes to, other people's life, So we had little arguments in the camp, which is trying to purchase a ticket for us without the final whistle. Like, we have not even finished the game. You guys have started purchasing tickets for us to leave back to Nigeria. So we felt like this is a huge disgrace for us as a player. These guys, these are our opponents. They are players like us. Okay, they are more experienced. They are, they have been around the world. They played in top league and everything. They have more profile than us. But that does not count. What counts is 11 against 11, the ball on the pitch. So we felt like we can stand in front of them and take all the beating and all the defeat, but it's how we see ourselves that day. And we went there, we proved to the world that names don't play football. It's how you walk in the pitch, it's how you turn up dedicated and everything. So when we won Ivory Coast, we felt like this is it. Like, after winning Ivory Coast, there's no one stopping us. With that confidence that we had, with that mindset to say, look, nobody gave us any chance, and we won against Ivory Coast. There's no way on earth we will go home without a trophy. So that's when we started, pushing each other.
Okay, when you had the medal, when they were putting the medal around your neck, and you look back to how you started in AJEGUNLE, what did you ever imagine you being celebrated that big?
Yeah. For sure, you know, as a football player, your dream is to, you know, win trophies. So when we got to the final, I just felt like this is it. You know, this is one in my frame. I have to frame this one. That's how I feel. I'm like, this one, I will not let it go. I have to make sure I frame it. So I always see myself, you know, as a person who will always, you know, succeed in everything that I'm doing. You know, I don't doubt myself. So when it comes to that game, I believe that we're gonna win. Even yeah, it was 1-0, but I felt like that's enough. You know, we may try to go more, and we end up conceding. So we just felt like, look, we should just sit back and just enjoy the moment, and you know, go home with the trophy.
Brown, thank you very much for the time. Thank you for making our time to talk to us today. We really enjoyed this
very much.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we get to hear more from you, and it will be positive news as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.